Wit it or quit it. Wit it, quit it.
What?
Wit it.
We about to turn up in this bitch.
All right, what am I winning or quitting today?
Julian Edelman was named Super Bowl 53 MVP. The wide receiver is the first wide receiver to win Super Bowl MVP since Deion Branch, and the only one of 7 wide receivers with the Super Bowl MVP. With 3 championships under his belt, Julian Edelman is the future Hall of Famer. Wit it or quit it.
Did you call him the white receiver?
I mean, that everyone always, like when they look at him, honestly, there should be a different category. Wide receivers and wide receivers.
Okay. Well, Julian Edelman was a pain in the ass for the Rams all game.
Yes.
10 receptions, 141 yards. Now he is second only to Jerry Rice in NFL postseason history in receptions and receiving yards.
Dang.
However, because of that stat, which is, I mean,
That's
respect.
Yeah,
It's
for sure.
Clutch gene, hardcore.
Oh, for sure.
It doesn't make you a Hall of Famer, okay? And everyone needs to relax on this. And I don't even know where this came from exactly.
Sure.
But Nate Burleson said it, I guess, on CBS.
I was screaming it from the beginning.
Burleson said it, but Schefter tweeted something.
Oh, yeah,
which got
Schefter,
firestorm.
I watched
Schefter
football,
started
and
this.
I said Julian Edelman, out of all of these wide receivers that have been under the Brady-Belichick era, Julian Edelman's been the most consistent and has the most Super Bowls under his belt. And I say that coming from a fan of Deion Branch who went to Louisville, so I was always following his career and rooting for him. Like, Julian Edelman is the biggest piece of this part of this dynasty outside of them.
However, his regular season stats are pedestrian. Okay? Like, they're good. They're okay. He is consistent.
He's been out the first 4 games this season.
There's a couple things.
PBs.
Yeah, all right, we're gonna get to that in a second. Let's just start with like the stuff that people can't get all in their feelings about. All right, so he's had 499 career receptions in the regular season, 5,390 yards, and 30 touchdowns. That's just okay. All right.
Say it again. What was that?
Okay, so one more time. He has had 499 career receptions, 5,390 yards, and 30 touchdowns. Now he's
normal.
great in the regular. Yeah, it's very normal. In fact, it's so normal
It's good.
that let's take a look at someone else. All right, let's see. This guy's had 439 career receptions, 5,816 yards, and 53 touchdowns.
Still playing?
Nope. That'd be Eric Decker. Nobody is putting Eric Decker up for the Hall of Fame. And that's no disrespect to Eric Decker, but like, he's not a Hall of Famer. No one would have that conversation. Just
How many Super Bowls he
because
got?
Julian Edelman plays with Tom Brady and has won Super Bowls, albeit he's contributed in those Super Bowls, but let's stop acting like if Julian Edelman was on any other team, we'd be having a conversation about him being a Hall of Famer. He's just not a Hall of Famer. And it's okay, and it's not a diss, and I'm not hating, it's just facts. You have to look at the entire body of work, his entire career, and he just does not have those numbers. Isaac Bruce is not in the Hall of Fame, okay? 1,024 receptions, 15,208 yards, and 91 touchdowns. Yardage total is the 5th most ever. And that's not including the 44 receptions, 759 yards, and 4 touchdowns that Isaac Bruce had in the playoffs, and also won a Super Bowl with the Rams. He's not in the Hall of Fame. Edelman's not even in the conversation. And the last thing I'm going to get to before the thing I'm really going to get to is that if you are talked about whether you should be in the Hall of Fame with the NFL, you're not a Hall of Famer. Like, that's how it works. If there's a debate about like, is he in the Hall of Fame? Is he? He's not. That's not how the NFL Hall of Fame works.
That's not true.
It is
That's
true.
not true. And okay, Isaac Bruce, think about what type of wide receiver he was. Julian Edelman is a slot receiver. If you're creating an all-time NFL team of like all the best in all of the positions, Julian Edelman arguably would be your slot on a lot of people's teams.
For postseason? Yeah. For regular season?
Results.
Okay.
Results.
I mean, he's consistent, but what is that? Like, he's not a Hall of Famer. The fact that we're even having to have a conversation about it means that he's not a Hall of Famer. It's not like a fringe guy.
No, I feel you, but we'll see though. Like, cause like this is him here with them now. I'm always rooting for Matt Guys. I love that a Matt Guy just won a Super Bowl MVP. Obviously, Matt Guys deserve to be in the league or in the Hall of Fame. I love that Jason is a Matt Guy in the Hall of Fame. Mac.
Because you sound a little bit like Mag, and it was
like a MAGA guy.
But he's
right.
not
That's Tom Brady.
Mac.
The Patriots winning the Super Bowl is the most MAGA thing ever, by the way, this year.
I'm not. That's nonsense. I'm not concerning that, okay? Right. For many reasons, okay? There's black people on the Patriots coaching staff.
I agree.
And on the field,
I agree.
okay? So let's just relax on that.
I
okay? Edelman is like the Robert Ory Okay.
Don't do
And
that. Yes.
Don't
reduce
Big
him
shot
to
Bob.
No.
Okay. Yes.
What Super Bowl?
Basic regular seasons.
What Finals
stats.
MVP does Robert Ory have?
He has 7 rings.
What
and has made
MVP does
huge
he
shots.
have?
It is a perfect comparison.
Is it?
Yes, it is.
How?
Actually, Robert Ory should be a Hall of Famer, and Julian Edelman should not. So it's not a perfect. Comparison. And since no one else wants to talk about it, we only want to use stats because we don't want to hurt anyone's feelings. He did miss the first 4 games of the regular season this year for PEDs.
Fresh legs.
So when Barry Bonds gets in the Baseball Hall of Fame, then we can start having a conversation about Julian Edelman getting into the Hall of Fame.
Make PEDs great again. I listen. Like if
Because
it
he's
helps.
like literally a cheater.
He's dedicated to being the best version of himself, regardless of what the rules are.
I agree with you. I do agree with you there. And I have said many times, I really don't actually have a problem with PEDs. I know that sounds ridiculous, but I really actually don't. So I'm not being a hypocrite here. I'm just saying, if you're not going to let Barry Bonds into the Baseball Hall of Fame
with no positive test,
I really don't even want to have the conversation about Julian Edelman until that happens.
He was suspended this year.
I realize it's different sports. But everything Heller is saying is correct on top of all of the very, very clear, very concrete stats that I just read.
Based on the results of this last Super Bowl, if you think your team can make it, you should make sure all of your stars sit the first 4 games. Sony Michel was out and Edelman was out, and they looked great. Everyone who played all the other games looked, including Tom Brady, looked tired and washed up and old.
All right. What's next?
Okay. The Rams set 2 noteworthy records in Sunday's Super Bowl. Longest punt in Super Bowl history with a 65-yarder from Johnny Hecker, and the least points scored in Super Bowl history with 3 points scored total, which falls clearly on Sean McVay's shoulder. Joy, Bill Belichick proved that Sean McVay is overrated. Wit it or quit it?
No, quit it.
What? How?
Quit it. Stop it. Stop it. Bill Belichick is the greatest football coach of all time. Okay.
Yes.
Tom Brady is the greatest quarterback of all time. They have
Clearly.
a very solid, consistent coaching staff.
Yeah.
They have players around them that have been there for a long time. Gronk, Julian Edelman. Okay. Their offensive line is
the list
great.
goes on and
Their
on.
defense played great.
Yeah, they
The
played
Rams
outstanding.
had an awful game. Their offense was dismal. Todd Gurley was a non-factor, 10 carries for 35 yards, longest run of 16 yards, and his only catch of the day went for a 1-yard loss. CJ Anderson had 7 carries for 22 yards, so the run game was non-existent, which is a credit to the Patriots defense. But
so
none of
good.
this means that Sean McVay is a disaster of a coach. Were they not in the Super Bowl? Did I miss something
Disaster
there?
coach versus overrated is 2 different things. The NFL went and try to hire a bunch
Okay.
of guys that can go lose to the Patriots in the Super Bowl.
Did I not say don't anoint Sean McVay the next Bill Belichick
Yes, you
until
did.
he's got 1 ring on a finger?
Yes, you did.
Okay.
You told me this. You told me week after week. Yes, 1 ring.
Well, how's it go?
Which one are we doing? Oh, the Beyonce one.
Why
If
is
you like
Heller
it,
getting this and you're not?
No, I do.
Trying to take
It's
this
like, I don't
long.
understand the ring. How does that?
I'm
add
gonna let
the-
you finish, but Beyonce had the greatest video of all time. Okay, here's the thing. He didn't win a ring, okay? And that's fine. But I never said to anoint him as the next Bill Belichick. You got to win something before you even start on the path of becoming the greatest head coach of all time with 6 Super Bowl rings.
Well,
so
that-
don't put that on me. I never overrated Sean McVay. I think he is a great coach.
Yeah.
They were in the Super Bowl. He's 33 years old. Guess what? They're going to be back. I feel very strongly about that. Jared Goff looked overwhelmed. And guess what? It's his first Super Bowl. He's a kid. It happens. Okay? It's not a disaster. It's not the end of the world. It doesn't mean that how they put their team together was wrong. The defense was incredible. They just couldn't get anything going on offense. And yes, I want answers about Todd Gurley. And if Todd Gurley is 100% healthy, I do want to know what the fucking explanation for the game plan was, because their running game was non-existent.
He wasn't healthy.
So I really don't know what happened there, but it really came down to one play. Like, you got to make that. Jared Goff's not going to throw a potato, okay? Like, it's got to get there on time.
A lot of Jared Goff's passes were bad, and if you look at it, Tom Brady and Jared Goff kind of had similar stats. They both weren't great.
Somebody need to let Jared Goff know that he wasn't playing cornhole, okay? The ball's got to get there a little bit faster than that, okay?
I would like to see that, though.
That pass took 10 seconds to get to the end zone.
All of the passes were, and the defense, the Patriots defense did play well. The couple good Jared Goff passes were batted down by Patriots defenders. But I guess me being honestly, I'm from this Belichick Patriots tree with Charlie Weiss winning some Super Bowls and then getting a big head coaching job and I understand that and I feel it and I respect the tradition of things, but in football, teams that have chemistry win games. And that's what I was afraid of for these Rams this entire time. When someone was down, all these stars are they're looking at another stars like, aren't you going to make a play to pick us up? Aren't you going to make a play to pick us up?
That's the biggest point. Because what this really came down to was McVay did get out-coached. It doesn't mean that he's overrated, but he did get out-coached because the Patriots made the adjustment that changed the game. When they went to a two tight end offense, it changed the game. It was the adjustment that fixed everything. That's how Gronk was able to get open for the catch and set up for the touchdown that really won the game and made the separation. Okay, so that one drive and that one moment, it was because that one adjustment, and being able to adjust mid-game takes experience, takes knowledge, takes guts, takes comfortability that comes with consistency, and that is what the Patriots have. So it shouldn't be surprising to anyone that the Patriots won that game looking at how that game went. That's what it was going to come down to. Everything's the same. Everything's the same. Everything's the same. It's tied in the fourth quarter. You got to do something different, and they were able to do that because of who they are, and they're a cohesive unit. So you're right about that. So next year, the Rams now have that experience. I'm not saying they're going to be back in the Super Bowl next year, but they're still going to be contenders, and then they will get other people to fill those slots. That's how it works. I'm not saying that they're going to be back. It's very hard to get back to the Super Bowl. The Eagles showed that this year. So, but everyone just relax on the McVay being outcoached or McVay being overrated, and it's a disaster. And now everyone's talking about, all these teams that hired McVay prodigies. Look how silly you look. They're still in the Super Bowl. And guess what? If you thought that winning the Super Bowl was the thing that was going to validate that hire for you, woo!
That is true.
Good luck, buddy.
Ground.
You should have felt a little bit stronger about that. If the confidence that you had in the coach that you hired from the McVay coaching tree was based off of whether they beat the Patriots in their 6th Super Bowl, Bill Belichick and Tom Brady. I mean, what a joke.
Yeah. No, honestly, like, Frank Wright possibly could be the next Belichick, because you got to find somebody who won a Super Bowl in the big game as the coordinator of their side of the ball first, in my opinion. Because Belichick had 2 as a defensive coordinator before he even got a chance to win his own. It's just like there's levels to this. Yeah,
everyone's overreacting to this whole Sean McVay thing. I feel like it's not the end of the world. Everything is not an absolute. Just because he lost the Super Bowl doesn't mean that the Rams are a disaster. It's not everything is not black and white. I think there's lots of things that went wrong in that game which I need explanations for. But it doesn't mean that all the hires that they picked from Sean McVay were going to work because they won the Super Bowl and are not going to work because they didn't win the Super Bowl. Maybe it's just because they didn't have enough experience to be head coaches and you guys all overreacted to what was happening with the Rams. Maybe that's what it was.
I'm ready to give Wade Phillips another team after that performance because he did a great job.
Oh yeah, and look, like that's what it comes down to. Wade Phillips is incredibly confident because he's been doing this a long time, which is why Sean McVay hired him.
Yeah, you run that part, I got this part. He ain't got that part.
No, you didn't have that part. No. All right, what's next?
LaVar Ball is back in the headlines after A, calling out Luke Walton and the Lakers for giving his son a loser's mentality, son being Lonzo, obviously. B, saying Lonzo is better off with the Suns than the Pelicans. And C, saying Anthony Davis is good but not a winner. I think if LaVar's talking, Lonzo's walking. Joy, Lonzo Ball will not be a Laker after the trade deadline. Wit it or quit it?
I'm going to quit it, actually. I think he is going to be a Laker because I think the Lakers have finally come to their senses.
Yes.
Excuse me.
You good. She's just coughing real quick. She's about to talk to you about why the Lakers came to their senses.
Yes. So the Pelicans were asking for the entire franchise, all of the banners. They'd like Shaq.
They want Magic Johnson.
Yes, they want Magic, and they'd also like Genie's shoe collection. And the Lakers are just not having it. Honestly, what they're asking for is insane, and we'll talk about it in a second. But it seems like the Lakers have finally been like, "Excuse me."
Right. It's like, guys, pushy.
Jose.
Yes.
Who the f*** are you talking to?
Right. Okay. Who do you think the brow is?
Excuse me.
That's what it is.
No.
Yes. Thank God they did that.
We'll get to that in a minute. So as far as that goes, I'm going to quit that. I do think that he's going to end up staying with the Lakers, which is a good thing. However, what is LaVar doing?
He's broke his silence. Broke his vow of silence.
This comes back to the Luke Walton thing always, okay? Luke Walton is not the issue with the Lakers.
No.
Okay? Everyone is selling out for LeBron James. LeBron James is a short-term solution for a championship. You want a championship? You go and get LeBron James, get another star to play alongside him, and put some shooters around him. Okay? So LaVar calling out, this reaction by LaVar is based all off of the fact that Lonzo has been rumored to be in every single trade package that has been reported to the Pelicans, and he doesn't want him to go to New Orleans. So the quote about him being better off in Phoenix, I mean, do you really feel like he'd be better off in Phoenix? Of course not. He'd be better off with the Lakers.
Yes.
But it's because he doesn't want him to go to New Orleans. So the quote about Luke Walton, I think we all pretty much knew what LaVar's feelings were about Luke Walton for quite some time now. It's just been quiet. And as far as AD goes,
he ain't wrong.
He's not wrong.
He is not wrong. There's a difference between players and winners, and I will scream that to the high heavens as long as I can. And as soon as Chris Paul wins a championship, I'll stop saying it because he's the perfect example of what I'm talking about. There's a difference.
There is a difference, and that's not. There's probably some confusion about how I feel about AD coming to the Lakers, and I'm just gonna make it clear right now. I do think the Lakers need Anthony Davis. Yeah. They just need more than just Anthony Davis. It's not gonna be LeBron and Anthony Davis leading the Lakers to a championship in the West. They're going to need not just a lot more. They're going to need at least 2 very consistent shooters. Where you're like, that guy, shooter. That's what you think of. Klay Thompson, shooter. And Klay Thompson is even on another level because Klay Thompson plays great defense.
Yeah.
So you really need shooters and Anthony Davis and a couple other role players. Okay? I no way am I saying they don't need Anthony Davis just because he's not a winner, but I don't think of the Pelicans as a winning organization either. So... again, LaVar tells no lies.
I would say I don't want to,
except for Luke Walton, because I don't think that Luke Walton is the problem.
Right. And I don't want to be the LaVar's right about everything podcast, but let's look at the stat line of Brandon Ingram, Kyle Kuzma, and Josh Hart, all those guys when Lonzo's not on the floor. Like, Lonzo is a huge distributor. He's a big part of this team. He was a part of how they distributed the ball last year, and they weren't even doing much scoring then.
Yeah. I mean, LaVar is mostly right.
I don't want to. I mean, when you're right, he's wrong about milk though. He got to stop drinking.
Yeah, he's got some
milk.
Yeah,
he's got some point. You just got.
Although he said that's why I'm small.
Right.
Which he might be right about.
No, that's I know. They're definitely kids drink milk.
I drank
like
milk
8.
growing up, but it was like I don't like the vitamin D. It's like paint.
And there's like a chunky milk commercial. Remember that one? I think we just jumped the gun for the and
ew. What? Chunky milk?
It was a
you know what? There's nothing more disgusting of all food items, than cottage cheese. Who eats cottage cheese?
Dogs.
Who eats cottage cheese?
Dogs love cottage cheese.
Who here eats cottage cheese? Ariana, how?
John with Splenda. Oh, with something else gross.
With Splenda sprinkled on top.
Cottage cheese.
Like a dessert.
Throw up.
It's amazing.
Dessert, you said? Oh my God. Honestly.
It is the texture of puke.
I mean... I'm not. Let me not. I'm gonna lay out.
It's the consistency.
Some white takes that I'm
and
gonna
it
keep
has
myself.
the thing like
that is bad. Throw it away in the container. Why y'all selling this stuff?
Right. It is corrupt.
Yes, the FDA should be banned because they let that shit come out.
I can't
cheese
believe you
with a little
guys
house
use
cottage
cheese.
on it. Like you
It's blue cheese. It's the same consistency.
I feel kind of the same way.
Honestly,
about
blue cheese.
though.
It's a guilty pleasure. It's like NSYNC. Blue cheese is a guilty pleasure.
You eat blue cheese?
I stay away from it now, but if it's there, I'm not gonna be like, who put this here? I'm gonna be like, who? Is this their blue cheese? They make this in house.
So disappointing
So
when
good.
they're supposed to bring ranch with the wings and they bring blue cheese.
That is okay.
It's the worst.
No, one sauce should have a ranch,
It's the
one
worst.
sauce should have a blue
Ashley's
cheese.
about to hop on the mic right now
Yes.
and complain that we didn't have
Actually,
ranch in our
yes,
house.
I was gonna say this is why we didn't want to talk about this. You don't have ranch in your household, and I do think that's low-key wild. I keep 60-calorie ranch in mine, Hidden Valley. Shouts out.
Okay, so I had ranch at our last home.
Yes.
Okay, but I did not bring all of our condiments over because that's a lot of moving, and I just was tired.
But you
of
clearly
it.
went to the grocery store, or
I had been to the grocery store since I moved. Yes.
So
I'm no longer allowed to use Instacart, so I have to go to the grocery store.
So
I don't even know what Instacart is. What is that? Y'all made that up?
It's a very convenient app where you have all of your groceries delivered to you, and yes, it's been taken away from me. So,
but how do you accidentally get something you don't need?
What do you mean?
When you go to the grocery store, you accidentally pick up some stuff you don't need. That's part of going to the grocery store. That's
right.
good.
And she still neglected to pick up ranch.
Well, okay. I'm sorry I didn't have ranch for you, Ashley, to dip your pizza in.
Yeah.
That's a good point, though.
What?
Ranch is no longer a salad dressing.
Exactly.
Ranch
It's not
is
salad.
for pizza.
It's
You're
why
having ranch on salad,
It's why I don't have any because
Ranch
I
is a
have eaten
Swiss Army
salad
knife
in the
of
house.
sauces.
But I have
You can
not
put it with anything.
No,
you don't put-
outside the Midwest.
No, you don't
outside
put
the
ranch
Midwest.
on. Listen, stop.
Ranch
okay?
is not a salad
Listen,
dressing.
You
anymore.
learned very recently that a Pittsburgh salad is salad with French fries on it.
Yeah, it's
okay,
fucking weird.
right? Like it's an absurd thing. I recognize that, but I also don't eat Pittsburgh salads anymore.
Crispy
Just
fries
like,
or fat fries?
just like I'm an adult, so I don't put ranch on my salad.
There is no way.
You know when I get ranch on my salad? When it's a side salad at like
Red Lobster?
Yes. It's
Yeah,
like this
yeah.
lettuce may not even actually be lettuce.
Right,
So
yeah.
like, let me just put
I
ranch
mentioned
on
this
it.
ranch,
Yeah,
yeah.
I don't know. Iceberg
Okay,
only with
okay.
like a
Yeah, when they serve
with
dry
like
lettuce at
with like a
restaurants.
sliver of carrot, okay, and a half a grape tomato.
Big
That's
tins.
when
I don't know
yes.
how I
Hot,
found
hot lettuce
myself.
that comes on like in big trays is sitting on the lasagna.
Yeah.
And it's like,
Of
yeah,
course,
like that
yeah.
type of
Then
stuff. Yeah.
I will drown it in ranch.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know how I found myself being like the advocate for ranch on a salad, but
Yeah,
that ranch goes with literally everything. French fries. Okay, if we want to talk about weird ass
Listen,
Pittsburgh
dog, I
things.
love ranch. I'm just saying,
Detroit
I'm
loves
32
putting
years
ranch on
old. I
French
can't
fries.
just be eating
It's a
ranch
big
on
thing.
shit.
Why not?
I don't have ranch in my house right now.
They took your Instacart away.
And
It was a-
yes, and they took my Instacart away.
Instacart sponsor us.
It was a very,
Make
it was
come
a,
back.
you had a very good meal. It was very, you could indulge in other things, of things that aren't healthy.
Yes, we
I
had fried
appreciate
chicken,
you not having ranch.
greens,
The greens were amazing.
yams,
Yeah, yeah.
macaroni and cheese,
Woo.
and we got pizza, which was a good call by Earl, but we
Yeah.
did not get ranch.
Yeah.
And if it
Not a
bothers
good
you so
cross.
much, you could have just went and got some.
Yeah.
Or bring your own ranch, yeah. Hot sauce in my bag swag.
Right.
Let's go.
We were talking about Lonzo before.